have been in some decent films along the road, then there are obviously things that stand out about all of them.
He doesn't overtalk, doesn't overshare. Sam Elliott just listens, and when he speaks, it lands. And when he names someone, he means it.
There's certain things about most films that make them special.
For over 5 decades, Sam Elliott has stood for a different kind of Hollywood. Quiet strength, old-school principles. That mustache might get the attention, but the man behind it, he's pure steel, and he doesn't throw compliments. So when he names his 6 favorite actors, it's not about hype, it's not about headlines, it's about legacy. The kind of actor who doesn't need noise to fill the screen, the kind that lets silence speak louder. High Noon, Tombstone, The Big Lebowski. 1883. Sam's career crosses eras, but one thing never changes. He knows the real ones. The ones who show up, do the work, and walk out without asking for applause.
Made me laugh to beat the band. Parts, anyway.
And when Sam calls you one of the best, you don't just get praise, you get carved into stone.
It's a first-time venture for him as a director, and he was just brilliant, as it turns out, as a director.
He's worked with legends, studied the rest, and only a handful made him stop and say, "Yeah, that's the real deal." Here are the 6 actors Sam Elliott respects above all, and why none of them had to try to earn it. Number 1. Gary Cooper. Some actors walk into a scene. Gary Cooper settled into one, like he'd always been there. Sam Elliott didn't grow up wanting to be a movie star, he grew up wanting to be that. The kind of man who didn't need to raise his voice to command attention. The kind of presence that could carry a film without moving an inch. Elliott once said, "If I learned anything from Gary Cooper, it's that you don't have to say much if you mean everything." That wasn't just praise, it was a personal code. Long before Sam Elliott wore a cowboy hat on screen, he watched Cooper live in one. High Noon, The Westerner, Sergeant York. These weren't just films, they were lessons in control, stillness, and the kind of gravity you can't teach. And High Noon? That one stayed with him. Elliott saw it as a boy, black and white, midday sun, one man against the town, the clock, and his own fear. Cooper didn't shout, he didn't break down. He stood there, straight-backed and haunted, and let silence carry the weight. Sam later described it as, "the performance that taught me how to listen." Cooper didn't act like a man under pressure. He was one. And every flicker of doubt, of pain, of duty, it all came through without a single wasted motion. That restraint became Elliott's North Star. Because Gary Cooper didn't chase applause, he didn't kill scenes, he didn't choose scenery, he let the story breathe and let himself disappear into it. Elliott's own directors would later call him a rock, the spine, a ghost with weight. That DNA, pure Cooper. And it wasn't just about performance, it was about philosophy. Cooper never traded integrity for flash, never took the cheap shot. Even in his lighter roles, there was a code under the charm. Sam's work reflects that same internal compass. He never played cool, he played true, and every time he stepped on a set, that Cooper ghost was standing nearby. You'll never hear Elliott brag about his career, but the one name that still makes him pause, still makes his voice drop just a little. Gary. Because some actors change the industry. Gary Cooper changed Sam. Number 2. Clint Eastwood. Some actors change with the times. Clint Eastwood outlasted them. Sam Elliott has never been shy about it. He sees Clint as a benchmark, not just for westerns, but for what it means to grow older in this business without losing your edge. He didn't reinvent himself, Sam once said. He just kept going, until everyone else had to catch up. It's not just the roles, it's the control, the authority. Eastwood doesn't walk into a scene, he claims it, without ever looking like he's trying. Sam respects that, because there's something in Clint's eyes, always has been, that mix of cold calculation and worn-down truth. The man behind Unforgiven, Gran Torino, Mystic River, he's not chasing legacy, he's building it one understated performance at a time. Elliott saw the good, the bad, and the ugly in theaters. Then again. But it wasn't until Pale Rider that something locked in. "It was the stillness," he said, "the way Clint makes space louder than sound." They've never shared a screen, but they don't need to, because what Elliott sees in Eastwood is something deeper than collaboration. It's recognition. Same school, same quiet code. Both of them came from the dirt, worked their way in through the back door. No nepotism, no hype machine, just time, patience, and consistency. Both figured out early. Hollywood respects volume, but it remembers restraint. And Clint, he mastered it. He never played men desperate to be liked. He played men who already knew who they were and didn't care if you could handle it. That hit Sam hard. Because if you can speak without talking, if you can win the room without moving, you're not just an actor anymore, you're a presence. Clint Eastwood never had to yell. He just stared, and the world listened. And Sam? He took notes. Because you can fake charisma, you can fake cool, but you can't fake command. Number 3. Katharine Hepburn. Most people wouldn't expect this name on Sam Elliott's list, but that's exactly why it belongs there. Katharine Hepburn didn't ask for respect, she took it. And Sam Elliott, who's made a career out of quiet strength, saw something rare in her, a woman who didn't bend, didn't flatter, and didn't soften to fit into anyone's frame. "She was sharper than any man in the room," Sam once said. Hepburn didn't just hold her own. She led. Whether it was Cary Grant, Spencer Tracy, or Jimmy Stewart, she never played second fiddle. She played equal footing, and that kind of force, Sam never forgot it. He's always said the best actors are the ones who leave no wasted movement, no wasted word. Hepburn never wasted a breath. Every beat, deliberate. Every silence, strategic. Whether in the Philadelphia Story or on Golden Pond, she wielded dialogue like a weapon, but never needed to shout. Sam's admiration wasn't just professional, it was personal. He once called her the toughest presence in soft packaging.
Joe, you look splendid.
Well, I feel perfectly miserable with 19 hairpins all sticking straight into my head. But dear me, let us be elegant or die.
She was the one who showed Hollywood that strength doesn't need a drawl or a revolver. It can walk in, wearing slacks, chin high, and take over the room without a single apology. That's what stuck with Sam. Because if you look past the mustache, the gravel voice, the boots, Sam Elliott's entire career is built on a very similar code. Show up, speak when it matters, let the work talk. And Hepburn lived that code before anyone knew what to call it. There's a scene in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner where she just looks. No line, no movement. But the judgment in her eyes, it could have cracked granite. That's the power Sam studied. That's the kind of presence he chases. Katharine Hepburn didn't just blaze trails, she torched them and dared anyone to follow. And Sam? He never tried to follow her, he just made damn sure to walk the same direction. Number 4. Daniel Day-Lewis. Sam Elliott doesn't throw around words like genius, but when it comes to Daniel Day-Lewis, even Sam gets quiet. "That man doesn't act," he once said, "he disappears." And that's the core of it. Elliott spent his whole career playing real men, men with weight, silence, and slow burn presence. Daniel Day-Lewis, he goes further. He doesn't just inhabit a character, he evaporates into it. Sam first took notice during My Left Foot. What struck him wasn't just the performance, it was the patience, the control, the total absence of vanity. No flash, no wink to the audience, just raw immersion. Then came The Last of the Mohicans. That's when Sam leaned in. "I don't know how a guy from London made me believe he'd been raised in the woods," he joked once, "but I bought every second." Because for Sam, truth on screen isn't about accuracy, it's about weight, and Daniel Day-Lewis never floats. He sinks deep into the bones of whoever he's playing. Lincoln, Daniel Plainview, Reynolds Woodcock, they don't feel performed, they feel conjured. Sam sees that as sacred. He once said, watching Day-Lewis in There Will Be Blood was like watching a slow-moving storm roll in. You can't stop it. You don't dare interrupt it. You just sit there and take it. That's the kind of work Sam believes in. No shortcuts, no ego, no safety net. Just full emotional surrender, no matter how long it takes. And then he disappears again. No press tours, no red carpet addiction, just a man who shows up, sets fire to the screen, and vanishes into silence. Sam respects that more than most, because in this business, attention is currency, and Day-Lewis doesn't seem interested in spending a dime. "He's proof that stillness can be terrifying," Sam once said, "and that truth doesn't need to yell." That's why Daniel Day-Lewis makes the list, because Sam doesn't need charisma, he needs conviction. And Day-Lewis, he doesn't just play roles, he leaves behind ghosts. Number 5, Sam Shepard. This one wasn't admiration from a distance, this was personal. Sam Elliott didn't just respect Sam Shepard, he felt him. In the words, the silences, the space between lines that most actors rush to fill, Shepard didn't fill them. He let them breathe. "You don't act next to Sam," Elliott once said. "You sit in his weather." They worked together on The High-Low Country, one of those films people forget, but the people in it don't. Elliott said the first day on set with Shepard felt like stepping into a room that already knew what story it was telling. Shepard was more than an actor. He was a playwright, a poet, a man who understood human failure better than most therapists. His characters didn't shout. They broke quietly. They hurt with restraint. That kind of storytelling. It's the exact rhythm Sam Elliott has spent his whole life trying to perfect. Shepard brought that rhythm effortlessly. And he carried it off-screen too. He wasn't the loudest voice at the table. He didn't crowd scenes. But when he spoke, everything else stopped moving. He had that rare power, one Elliott recognized immediately, of still authority. "We didn't have to talk much," Sam said. "We got it." They weren't best friends. They didn't share vacation photos. But there was a mutual recognition. Two men wired the same way, rooted in simplicity, suspicious of ego, devoted to the work. And when Shepard passed in 2017, Elliott didn't give a long tribute. He just called him irreplaceable. That was it, because that's how Sam grieves. Quiet, deliberate, final. Shepard's writing shaped the way Sam thought about masculinity, vulnerability, restraint. His performances gave permission to feel without needing to perform. His presence reminded actors that mystery could be more powerful than any monologue. Sam keeps his list short, but Shepard's on it, because every time Elliott walks onto a set and lets a pause hang just a second longer, you can feel it. Shepard's still there. Number 6. Jeff Bridges. Some actors click. Jeff Bridges, he fit. Sam Elliott and Jeff Bridges didn't just work together, they locked in. The Big Lebowski wasn't a friendship origin story, it was confirmation. Both men brought gravel voices, easy timing, and zero ego. And it worked, because neither of them needed to prove a thing. "He doesn't chase the scene," Sam once said, "he settles into it." Bridges is one of the few actors Sam describes as loose in the best way. Not sloppy, not checked out, just free. He shows up with a full tank, but never tells you how he's going to drive. And that spontaneity, Sam lives for it. Their scenes in Lebowski weren't loud, they were lived in. That bar counter dialogue? Half of it was in the silences. Jeff didn't fill space, he respected it. And Sam, he followed that rhythm like it was jazz. They've crossed paths more than once since. Always the same energy. No drama, no image management, just two veterans who still like making movies. Sam's even said Bridges is the only actor who's made him laugh, cry, and rethink a line, all in the same scene. Not many people make Sam Elliott smile when he hears their name. Jeff does. Because beyond the beard, beyond the legend, Bridges brings one thing Sam values more than anything else. Ease. Sam Elliott never raised his voice to get your attention. And the actors he loves? They never had to either. They didn't just perform, they carried something. Stillness, authority. A kind of quiet gravity that doesn't come from training. It comes from truth. No gimmicks, no noise, just presence. Whether it was Gary Cooper holding a town's fate in his silence, Katharine Hepburn slicing through a room with nothing but posture, or Jeff Bridges turning a bar stool into a masterclass in rhythm, each of them made Sam feel something, without ever reaching. These weren't just favorites. They were proof that you don't need to be loud to leave a mark. You just need to mean it. Which one surprised you the most? Let us know below. And if you want early access to future deep dives like this one, hit like, subscribe, and consider joining the channel. Because the next list? That one's even quieter, but heavier.